Welcome to Worriosity, where we unpack what makes you bite your nails
and keeps you up at night. We are two minds,
one spiral. Let's get to it.
Welcome to today's edition of Worriosity. Today, we're going to be talking about
weight.
Yay! Everybody's favorite topic.
Balancing those scales.
Oh my gosh. So I turned 50 this past November. I'm saying it my, Sally O'Malley way? Like, I'm 50 and I can stretch and kick. I'm excited, actually. Like, I thought I would be upset about being 50. But one of the things that comes with late 40s, being 50, is it is impossible to lose weight. It just absolutely is. I look at something and I gain weight. I work crazy hard for weeks at a time and I'll maybe lose a half pound or I'll gain weight. And then if I do lose any, I just look at something again and I put it right back on. So that's good times. And then also being in the time of your life where you're just, I'll just tell you, I'm hot all the time. So we know what we're talking about here. I'm in perimenopause. And that also adds to not being able to lose a pound. So super fun times. Do you struggle with this at all?
Do I struggle with this? Yes, at the ripe age of 34 going on 35, I've struggled with weight my whole life. And I think part of that is because of upbringing a little bit. So, living with my dad as a single father at the time because, my mom had passed away. He wasn't exactly the epitome of health, and I always like to tell people that I had...
It's an understatement.
Yeah, it's an understatement. I tell people that I had a fresh peach for the very first time when I was 16 years old. Like,
that can't be true.
It was true. It was totally true. It really was. What? Everything was canned. I mean, come on. Like, we were eating things that were heavily processed, very inexpensive.
That is true. Actually, I remember my lunches back when I was in elementary and middle school, and it would have a little can of peaches.
Yeah, a can of peaches
or like those.
Fruit. Yeah, or the they became like the little plastic ones with the little. So I had those all the time. I didn't really have a lot of fresh fruit unless it was really on sale. And so, I was always kind of in that upper category of weight. And as an adult, man, it's like you can't keep it off. But I'm finding it to be, I don't know, an interesting journey trying to figure it out as an adult, eating better. I think that has helped.
Eat healthy.
But to your point, like perimenopausal, like I'm actually not far behind on that journey,
special time of your life,
that special time of my life. And I've actually already started having some of those conversations with friends where they're starting to experience some of that. So long story short, yes, I am struggling with weight.
Dealing with weight stinks. It's not fun for anybody.
Not fun. Well, I mean, some people are blessed.
That's true.
You and I?
Not as much.
Not as
much
blessed.
with the ease there. Yeah. So, what do we do? So we try to eat healthy. We work out. Try to work out. I'm finding, it's 3 years ago now that I broke both of my feet. And I used to run a lot more, that sort of thing. And then after that happened, all of my doctors were like, try something else. I don't know if running is going to be your favorite thing after this. I kind of broke this area of my feet that was little tiny bones that probably didn't even heal right at the end of it because I still feel it every time it rains. But
do you feel it every time it rains because that's when you broke your feet? Just a little side quest. Yeah. She broke both of her feet trying to bring her very elderly dog in after it had rained a lot, and she slipped on our deck and landed funny and broke both feet. So
this is Luna, the one we had talked about before. She was 19 when she passed, and a little Beagle Basset hound mix. And towards the end of her life, I had to carry her out to the grass for her potty breaks. And so what was great about that moment though is so I fell down the steps off my deck. She went flying and was not aware what was happening. She was like, I'm flying.
Yeah, because she was low-key deaf. So.
Yeah, and a little
blind.
Yeah, and so she just landed in the wet grass, did her business, and then my favorite part about it is I clearly knew what had happened at that point, and I'm climbing back up the steps, crawling across in the rain my deck to get to the door to yell for help. She trots up the stairs, passes me on the deck, and just goes inside the house. And leaves me. After all I did for her, she left me.
She didn't know.
Yeah. And this is why I don't run anymore. So there's that. Yeah, so, finding other exercises, because I was enjoying that, doing the races, all that kind of stuff. I did a couple of marathons. I did countless half marathons, all that stuff. It was fun for a while it lasted. I never got that pure joy that I think, that runner's high that people talk about. I never got that. We've done a couple races together. Have you felt the runner's high?
I do now more than I did. Yeah.
Well, you're training for races.
I am training for races. Yeah, so I'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah. But I feel like it's been eye-opening to try to just find other things. So I like classes where I can do weights and cardio and that sort of thing. But what's funny about that is, and they tell you, of course, that I always like using they. Who's they? The big they. Tell you that muscle weighs more than fat. And so I'll work out and then I'll weigh more. That's just not making me happy, the scale. But then it's about how clothes fit. And I'm like, all right, well, wait, now my clothes don't actually fit any better still. So I'm just in that point where it's a little bit challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think so. A little bit about my journey is like having moved in with you when I was a teenager. I think I definitely started eating a little bit better, but as a teenager, you don't eat great. I mean, let's just be honest. Like if you're going out with friends,
a lot of temptations.
And then you get into college, still a lot of temptations. You're on your own. You're kind of doing your thing. And I noticed that as I got older, I really wasn't addressing any of the issues that I had kind of, let's say less issues, but more of the routines that I had developed as a kid. I hadn't really worked out of that. I was still, kind of eating poorly. I was still choosing the things that maybe didn't have all the great stuff in it. And I certainly wasn't working out enough. I mean, I would say like, oh, I'm going to the gym or I'm, doing this. And I was on a sports team and I thought it was great. But looking back, I realized it was like bare minimum because like you, I didn't really find that excitement or high. And I feel like now as an adult, especially within the past few years, I've been finding kind of my footing. And that started with, and kind of to your point, it's like you find the thing that you really like, right?
Yeah.
And I found cycling. I remember I was working in DC when I did Soul Cycle for the first time. And anyone that's been to Soul Cycle, y'all know, it's a vibe.
It's a party.
It's a party. Mm-hmm. All the lights, all the music, and usually it's like EDM, which I really like. I like EDM. So I was head over heels for it. I loved cycling. And when I found that in Annapolis at a local studio, I jumped head first. I mean, it was just cardio, right? But I loved it. And I went so many times a week and paid for like, the monthly membership and everything. And even...
Did you lose weight though?
I did not lose weight. I just didn't. Yeah. I mean, that was the thing is like I was working out more, which is really important, but I wasn't really focusing on the food.
Which got to do it all together.
You got to do it all together. So, flash forward, I'm now at like another local gym that's really great, really bougie, really fun, and still doing cycling. But I realized over time that I need to do like more strength training, like you said.
Yeah.
More like focus on better foods. Kind of avoiding the things that have a lot of sugar, a lot of like bad fats, a lot of whatever. But I find the most successful tool for me, to Kat's point about like the scale and weighing more and whatever, is the in-body scan. Have y'all heard about the in-body scan?
Is that crazy thing? Like you stand there and you're holding on to it and it's like...
Got little arms.
But what is it actually doing? Like what are they... Is it real what they're claiming with this thing?
All I know...
I'm not sure I'm buying the hype.
So here's the thing is like I've been watching my scale recently. To Kat's point, I've been training a lot. I've been running 3 times a week, doing cross training with like weights and strength building, as well as just some active recovery, so like yoga and things like that. And my clothes are fitting different, but the scale is exactly the same.
Well, that's good because look, the whole point of this is not supposed to be the number, right?
Right, it's true.
It's supposed to be health and good fitness and taking care of yourself
and feeling good about yourself
and feeling good and
totally.
like just feeling good in general. You know, like being able to sleep better and have more energy and stuff like that. So I do think that's really the most important part of this. It's not necessarily the number on the scale.
It's true, but then with the in-body scan, because you asked about that, is like I see a difference in my body, but not on the scale. So when I get on the in-body, I'm noticing week after week like a decrease in the fat percentages and an increase in the skeletal muscle mass. And so I don't know the science. I probably should. I'm speaking on this,
I mean, what are they using to measure this?
Like electrode or something. hey, professionals out there,
it's
if you
time
could
for us to Google some things
yeah,
and figure out what's happening.
Yeah, but it's been something that's been introduced a number of times throughout the past couple of years to me. And whether it works or not, I got to tell you, mentally, it is doing something for me. Because when I look at that scale every day and I'm like, dang, no change. But then I get on that thing and it's like, you have less fat. I'm like,
yeah, but
I'm
they have it
fit.
They have it standing in the middle of the gym when you go in. And I never want to go and like stand on that thing and try to figure it out in the middle of the gym where everybody is walking by.
I have no shame.
Okay.
You know what? Y'all can watch me hold those little arms out like so.
It's super strange.
Yeah, no, I gotta tell you, like it's a nice thing to see because it also tells you like how much visceral fat you have, your water weight, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I just gotta tell you, like, it's kind of nice knowing what those things are. I don't like guessing.
Okay, so is cycling still your favorite?
Oh yeah,
yeah, okay.
Yeah. And you know what? If my cycling instructor is watching this, hey Lori.
I feel like that everybody's favorite thing right now is pickleball. It's swept the nation.
Oh yeah,
sweeping the world.
Yeah, and my boyfriend Josh, he's definitely into pickleball, and that's an understatement. I just want to say that is a complete understatement. That man could play for 8 hours straight and be like, "What? I was just having fun with my friends." And it's like 8 hours. That's working out for 8 hours.
Does he do like tournaments and stuff?
He has before. Yeah, he's done some with some friends, and he really enjoys it. I think for Josh, though, it's strictly for fun. You know, I think for a while he thought about, maybe going the pro route and stuff. But after so many years of running and being an athlete and whatnot, I think he's a little worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that goes hand in hand.
Be careful out there. There are a lot of pickleball injuries.
So many.
It's those quick jerks when you're moving around.
The side to side, it really gets you. Or the, I have to say,
ankles.
Myself, I've backed up and just completely eaten it because your body's not really meant to go that way like that. And so when you're going really fast and you're trying to hit it like this and then you just smack right on the pavement, I might have done that once or twice.
But you know what I love about some of these things is, okay, so maybe the number isn't changing on the scale the way I want it to, but I do love sort of the social component. When you go to the gym, or if you're going to play pickleball, or you're going to play tennis, or you're going to go to like an exercise class or something, it's kind of fun where, you can meet people and chat with them, and I don't know, there's like a little community you can build around that, which is sort of fun.
Totally. I totally agree with that. It's like, even though you're trying to reach goals and do this or that, having that community makes it easier to want to reach those goals. It's like when you're doing it by yourself sometimes, I don't feel like...
You can come up with 1,000 excuses, and I have plenty if anyone needs any. Tons of excuses to provide if you want to get out of your early morning run. That was one thing I remember when I was training for my first marathon. I never would have gotten through it if I wasn't with... there was like a group of friends that were doing this together. We did it over in Dublin, Ireland. So my first one. My husband came with me and a couple friends. We're like, all right, we're just going to do this. But because it was a early fall race, we were doing a lot of summertime training. Oh my God. And I can tell you that August in Maryland is disgusting.
So sticky, so gross.
Yes. And I grew up in Florida where I thought, okay, it can't be as bad as that. No, but it is.
It's the same.
July and August in Maryland is terrible.
It's like a wall.
Yeah, it's really gross. And so I was having to do like long runs. And so we'd have to go at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And so... if you don't have someone to do that with you, I can tell you I would have had a million excuses to not get up that early in the morning and go. But I did, and as my husband always talks about the second degree fun, because he does crazy races with running and biking and all these things.
For sure.
But is that you might not like it during the time, but then afterwards you're so excited and sort of thrilled that you did it.
Well, and it's funny that you say that because, so this is, I'm doing the Disney Springtime Challenge this year, which is a 5K, 10K, and 10 miler back to back to back. So it's 3 days consecutively. And I actually signed up to do this race with Kat, like 3 years ago, it was 2023.
Well, yeah,
and that's when she
I broke
her feet. Yeah, exactly. That's when she broke her feet. And so
My
her
daughter.
daughter ended up, her daughter ended up going with me instead in the race. Like, she was there, obviously, but, like,
Yeah,
she
I was
ran the
gonna say.
races with me. Yeah, she stayed in the hotel. But I remember when we did this the first time, her daughter and I were like, I would never do this again.
Oh, you have to get up at like 2:45
Yeah,
for
you
the Disney
get-
races.
yeah,
They
'cause
want you to run
Disney-
before the park's open.
Exactly. You're running through the park, so it's like they want you to be done before they open so that they don't have to, like, change anything. And so I remember, like, by the end of it, we were like, "Ugh, we would never do this again." And yet here I am, signed up again. And it was so funny when I told her that I was doing it again. She's like, "Oh, I would love to do that again with you." Like, you just forget.
Yeah.
You forget. But
Like
it's
having a kid.
yeah. I've heard that before. Like, a number of people say that. I'm like, I can't relate, but love knowing that. But this time I'm doing it with my friend, Brittany. And it's exciting because, first of all, the theme is centered around besties. It's like dynamic duos, and she's one of my besties. So I'm very excited about that. But to your point, you're training during the summer. I'm training during the dead of winter. So it is
Well,
the
icy out there,
opposite.
folks.
Yeah, it's a little opposite, right? It is freezing and icy. We just had a very big snow, so I can't run outside until that clears up just because, I'll face plant and that'll be terrible. I don't want to injure myself beforehand. But I could have a million excuses. And I've found, and maybe this is just like the kind of like hot person in me, like very warm. I've been really enjoying being out in that cold, but what I'm finding very challenging is when it is icy, when it is like crazy cold, when it is snowing, and I have to go inside on the treadmill. Oh, not my bag. Not my bag.
Okay, so
But Brittany loves it. I just want to like point out Brittany prefers the treadmill.
Yes.
Inside because she hates the cold. So it's just so funny that like you can find so many excuses, and my excuse is like, oh, I can't run outside. Well, I guess it's just not going to happen. And it's like, no, I need to keep going.
So here's the thing though, because we are the Worriosity podcast.
Sure.
So in addition to just worrying about weight loss, it's definitely more about like the health component, right?
Yeah.
So, the reason why we worry about our weight is not just vanity, but it's, to both of our parents died of heart disease and diabetes. So we're very worried about that. But the part that's crazy to me is, so I worry about getting that stuff if I don't work out enough. But then I also worry about dying of a heart attack from working out. So,
well, because
there's my
it
spiral
raises your
of the day.
cortisol levels. Like, I mean, let's be honest. Like, yeah, that's quite a spiral, but it's true. It's true. Like, people have heart attacks from both.
right. So, I mean, and I'm bringing it up today because we did just have this snowstorm, ice storm sort of thing. And it's always my worst fear when this happens. So my husband is completely fit. He bikes like hundreds of miles every week. And then he goes out and he's got his coat on and he's shoveling the snow. And everybody has these news stories of people keeling over shoveling snow because they overheat in the coat. And we have like huge thick layers of ice on the streets and
It's
on
like
our driveway.
3-4 inches.
So everybody's trying to chisel, and all I can think is everybody's just going to keel over from chiseling ice. And then he's like, "Do you want to come out and help me?" I'm like, "But I don't want to have a heart attack." So yeah, that's where I'm at with that, which is not healthy because then you get into the mental health of worrying about not being healthy enough and not fit enough, but then worrying about doing the activity itself.
Yeah, that's a very
It's a
real
special
worry.
moment, yeah.
It is. This is a very special moment. But another worry that I have, and this is probably something I think a number of people can relate to as well, is that sometimes working out when you're heavier feels horrible, or you worry about what other people are thinking
Oh,
when you're working out as someone that's a little bit heavier. So it's like, it's kind of twofold. It's like, ow, it hurts more. I'm worried about like how I'll feel the next day, how I'll perform, like that kind of thing. Because inevitably, like when you have a little more weight on you, everything's a little more difficult when it comes to working out. But then that other piece of like, people watching you, people thinking some type of way. And I've definitely been there. I'm a little less there now, I'll be honest. I feel very confident in my journey and, whatnot. But I've definitely been there before. Is like, you walk into this gym, the one that we go to is really nice. So like we walk into this really nice gym. Maybe we're not the most fit person there, and it's like, are people looking? Do they care? Like, do I stand out?
I see all different body types at the gym.
Yeah.
And I think it's great for everybody to be there doing their thing.
But I think in the past I definitely worried about that, and I wonder if that's just because of how I grew up and my non-access, I guess, to those experiences. Like, I don't know, but I definitely had that worry for a while where I thought about like personal image.
Well, our parents were definitely not fitness gurus at all. My mom didn't, or our mom didn't know that she had diabetes when she passed away, but my father did. And when his blood sugar got low, his go-to response was, I need to get a fried pie.
Yeah, or a Snickers. He did say that a lot. A fried pie or a Snickers.
Yeah. My blood sugar's low. I think it's time for fried pie. If you're not familiar with what a fried pie is, you're not alone. But it's basically the kind of thing you get at McDonald's. Those little
like fried apple pies.
Almost like an apple fritter sort of thing, but it came in like a sleeve.
Yeah.
And then they also had ones that were not hot. Like in your grocery store, you can get, they kind of look like...
they had the white wax boxes.
Yeah, like those sort of things. And they have them in varieties such as coconut cream or...
Blueberry.
Or, that
like a
sort of thing.
literal pie.
Yeah, like a half moon sort of looking thing. So yeah, that was kind of his response to
Not
fitness.
healthy.
And when they would go on a diet, I always knew when that was happening, and it always happened on a Monday. They didn't start
Classic.
to eat healthy except on Mondays.
Yeah, of course.
So
there's like memes and whole things around that.
So what would happen is I would see a couple grapefruits appear in the house, and they would...
Which is a horrible idea because they were both on like different medications.
Well, At that point, though, this was when I was younger.
Okay.
He wasn't supposed to be on grape. Once he got on like Coumadin or something, he wasn't supposed to have grapefruit.
No.
But then, no, it was... they had one grapefruit spoon, the little raggedy edge little spoon thing, and it would be a grapefruit. My mom would cut it in half to dad, half to mom. They'd sprinkle Sweet and Low on it. And then they would use the little spoon and eat all the little wedges out. And that would last about 3 days, and then it was that the diet was over. And during that time, too, they would potentially go on walks, and how they would do that is they would park at the mall, and they wouldn't walk in the mall. They would walk the outer loop of the parking lot of the mall. So, like, just around, like, the edge of the parking lot, because that gives you, like, a lot of walking, I guess.
Yeah.
But that would last just a couple days. Like, that was the most fitness I ever saw them do. So we didn't have a good example. And I will say that Jason is very kind and says all the time, like, both of us have a completely different lifestyle than our parents. Like, everybody should definitely be taking as good a care of themselves as possible. Eat healthy, exercise, try to practice good mental health, do different things. And that's like what we do and what we try to do. So if the numbers on the scale are not always perfect, at least we're going to the doctor every year. We're doing the things we're supposed to do. And I think that is a good way to get out of our spiral for that a little bit.
Sure, totally. And I can relate to that, because how many times have we gone to the doctor and we get our blood work back and it's pristine?
Yeah, it's totally fine.
It's totally great. We're in all the ranges.
Not always, though. I mean, that's the thing that worries us, is that, like, when things start to move or spike a little bit, then it's like, oh,
we evaluate and we reel it back. But for the most part, I feel like we do our best to kind of like stay in that healthy range. And so I think that's another thing that, we need to think about as individuals who are kind of navigating the world and trying to figure it out, is that sometimes the scale is not the thing to worry about, but the blood work. And if that looks good, then, maybe give yourself a little grace.
Yeah. So what have we learned? We've learned that we all have different bodies, but we're all wonderful. And if we take care of ourselves and we do our activities with friends, it makes it even easier. And also, the working out that you do is more fun if you do something that you actually like. If you're forcing yourself to do something, it's never going to work.
Yeah, you're not going to stick with it.
And if you're forcing yourself to eat food that you hate, it's never going to stick.
True.
So find the things that are good for you that that you actually like, and have a variety of that. And I don't know. I feel like whatever's working for you, keep it up, and we support you.
And if it's not working for you, find
Try
the thing
something
that,
else.
try something else. I mean, hey, we're totally not doctors, but like,
Nope.
you know, give it a try and then like
Talk to
give
a
some,
lot of them, though.
yeah, talk to your doctor. But give some things some tries and try again and just aim for the best and keep your worries at bay, because at the end of the day, if you're really giving it the old college try, you're doing a good job.
And if you're worried all the time, you're not going to feel very healthy either. Trust me. So,
No, heartburn, that makes you think it's going downhill.
yeah. So, all right. Well, that's been this episode. We look forward to seeing you next time on Worriosity. Have a great day.
Bye.